Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Money G. As we're counting down towards the ends of the 31 Days of Horror, it's time to review the latest horror movie based upon the very popular video game Five Nights at Freddy's. Yes, finally, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. Yes, ha ha ha. Now, Five Nights at Freddy's is a 2023 American supernatural horror film. It was directed by Emma Tammy. It was written by Scott Cawthorn, Seth Cuddleback, and Emma Tammy, based upon the very popular video games of the same names by Scott Cawthorn. Now, the film stars Josh Hutcherson, Elizabeth Lael, Piper Rebio, Mary Stuart Matheson, and Matthew Lillard. Yes, he's in this particular film. Now, in this film, a troubled security guard begins working at Freddy's Fazbear's Pizza. During his first night on the job, he realizes that the night shift won't be easy to get through as he will unveil what happened at Freddy's. Ooh, a mystery. Fans of the popular horror video game franchise Five Nights at Freddy's were hoping that a movie adaptation of the game would be created. I mean, based upon the premise of the game, it's very well could be a horror movie. Created by American video game developer and writer Scott Cawthorn, I think how you pronounce his name, the premise involves a player that assumes the role of a night employee working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Is a family pizza restaurant-like franchise similar to Chuck E. Cheese's. Now, the employee, armed only with a flashlight along with security guards, doors, and vents, must avoid the animatronic bear Freddy and his pals Foxy, Chica, and Bonnie for 5 nights, or something terrible will happen to the player. Now, while several filmmakers were busy trying to adapt the game into horror films, there were 2 films that had similar premises that were released and created. Now, first, the Banana Splits movie, based upon the 1968 children's television show, was released in 2019, and the second, Willy's Wonderland, starring Nicolas Cage, was released in 2021. Now, both those films had some moderate success. I think while a lot of people like Willy's Wonderland a little bit more than the Banana Splits movie, I know I saw both films. I did enjoy both films, and it kind of got a cult following as well. So finally, American film director Emma Tammy, along with the game's creator Scott Cawthorn, finally brings us the film adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's. Yes, finally, we got the film that fans of the games have been wanting to see. Now, after being fired for assaulting a father who he thought was kidnapping a child, which happens to be his son, Mike Schmidt reluctantly accepted a job working night security at the now-closed Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Now, we see that Mike is struggling and he still has nightmares regarding the day that his younger brother Gary was kidnapped several years ago, and he's also about to lose custody of his younger sister Abby to his estranged Aunt Jane. Now, as Mike spends nights at the restaurant, we learn more about the history of the restaurant and why it closed after a tragedy that happened to it back in the 1980s. I won't reveal what that is because that's spoiler territory, but I'm pretty sure people who know the film and the games, you probably know what that is. Now, this will leave Mike down a dark path where he must decide if he's going to live in the past or survive long enough to save Abby from Freddy and his friends, Chica, Roxy, and Bonnie. And that's kind of what the film is about. Now, just to let you know, horror fans, I have not played any of the games, so I really don't know that much about Five Nights at Freddy. Now, what I've learned and researched is the fact that the creator of the games had a hand in the screenplay or how the film is written. So it seems to me, Scott and Emma and the rest of the filmmakers stuck close to the source material. So I believe that should keep mostly all the fans of the games happy. Which is a good idea because the last thing you want to do is piss off the fans who play and enjoy the games because, the games is one thing. You don't want a repeat of what happened with the Resident Evil franchise because that was a problem. The people who created the Resident Evil films, while even though we did love Alice's character, it had nothing to do with any of the games. There were some characters that were brought in the games, but it was not the games itself. And then when they tried to actually make it more close to the source material, they messed that up as well. Now, at the same time, however, you still want to create an effective horror film where horror fans such as myself, who haven't played any games, will still enjoy the movie as well. Now, I will give Em and Tammy credit on how Freddy Fazbear Pizza looks, and it looks creepy, dreadful, and bleak. I like the darkness. I like the shadows. I like how creepy and grimy the place looks. It's a very nice setting for something terrible to happen in the restaurant. Now, I also like the fact that the designs of the animatronic creatures, I mean, animatronic monsters, you want to call them monsters, they don't look happy. They don't look playful. When you go to a Chuck E. Cheese's, those characters, those animatronics, they look very playful. Here, they don't. They all look like they're about to do something terrible, and I like how they are presented in the film. When they turn the power on, you see all the nice bright colors from the neon lights and the bright colors. You can see that this place was a place of fun and joy, and children, along with their parents, can come and enjoy themselves. I kind of like that contrast because here, when you look at, there's a commercial that plays on, it looks fun, it's brightful, everyone looks having a good time. It's a good place where parents can take their children and have a great time. It kind of reminded me at the time when I took my godson to Chuck E. Cheese's on his birthday, and all the kids were having fun, whether they were playing all the crazy games or the pinball machines or listen to the songs that Chucky and the gang were singing. It's similar to this film right here. It's the contrast between what Freddy's Fazbear Pizza was and what we're seeing in the film today. I like that different type of contrast. Like I said, I even like the fact that at times, Freddy, Chica, Freddy, and Bonnie, and even that cupcake monster look very scary and frightening. And that's something that you need for a film like this. You want to at least have the element of danger where something bad can happen if you're not too careful. And I think at times they do succeed in this particular film. Now, while the film does look creepy and looks good and creepy at times, the filmmakers didn't do anything different because we've seen this before in the Banana Splits movie and Willy Wonderland. So while the setting is great and everyone looks creepy and dingy and darky, well, I've seen this before in the Banana Splits movie and Willy Wonderland. So nothing really different here. Another problem is I kept waiting for something scary to happen, but unfortunately, nothing really does happen as the film spends more time on Mike's guilt on what happened to his brother. Not that I don't have a problem with it because the film focuses on that on more, but I wanted to see more Freddy and his gang that I really wanted to see about Mike's guilt. Now, at least Josh Hutcherson does a good job in his role because we see the pain and anguish that he felt as he felt as though, even though he was 12 at the time, he could have done more in protecting his brother. He feels the guilt and he does leave. And we can see that in his dreams. The dreams become more vivid. And what's happening in the dreams, we can see that he's still at odds about what happened to his brother. His internal struggles affect his relationship with his younger sister, Abby, which allows her to fall prey to Freddie and his friends. And I actually thought that the young actress, I think her name is Piper Rebo, she actually did a good job in playing Abby. She's not annoying. She's kind of cute. And she's very, very well protected of Freddie and his friends, despite the fact that she's in mortal danger. Now, I did like the chemistry that he has with Elizabeth Blair, who plays Vanessa Shelley, a cop who also has a dark past herself. Now, unlike the Banana Splits movie and Wally Wonderland, as both were violent and very bloody, the filmmakers here didn't want to seem to push the envelope because this is about as tame as you can get for a PG rated horror film. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's acts of violence, people do get killed, but there's very little gore and blood in this particular film. And to be honest, if you cut some parts of this film out, you could have actually aired this on Nickelodeon because that's how tame this movie is. It's like you would expect that a game based upon a very popular video horror game would actually have some more horror in it, but it doesn't. Another problem that I have with the film is that it's very, very predictable. I wasn't surprised about Vanessa's secret or who was really responsible for the tragedy that caused Freddy's the clothes in the first place. I knew right away when I saw this particular character, that character was going to come back and play an important part in the role. And I wasn't surprised about Vanessa's secret and why she feels so guilty or why she keeps wanting to protect Abby and Mike. Again, you can't just adapt a popular horror game into a film and then only make it enjoyable for the fan base only. You really have to make sure that horror fans who haven't played any of the games to enjoy it too. And it seems like the only thing they've accomplished here is make a horror film, in my opinion, is kind of rather dull and tame. It's like, okay, that's nice. They look creepy. They can be scary at times, but where's the actual horror in the film? Like I said before, I was expecting a little bit more. A lot of people talked about this game. I know some people have really criticized the film because they were very disappointed. Some have actually trashed the film, as far as what I've heard. But as far as I'm concerned, it's not a bad horror movie. It's just dull and tame. It's like, this is what you wanted. So I'm going to give Five Nights at Freddy's only 2 out of my 5 lucky gold coins. Yes, like I said, it's not a bad horror movie. The acting is fine. You do have some creepy moments. I did like the design of Freddy and his gang, but it's like I said, it's just too tame to be a very effective horror movie. So there you have it, guys. That is my review and video of Five Nights at Freddy's. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, and share because it does help out with that YouTube algorithm. Have you seen Five Nights at Freddy? It's actually airing in Peacock while also being in theaters. So, what do you thought about it? Did you thought this was too tame, or did you really did enjoy the film? Leave your comments in the comment section below and tell me what you thought about the film. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscriber button. Ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put another video such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as a Horror Miser, Monty G, and always remember that horror rules. I see you in my next video. Guys, stay safe out there.